It's only the 5th tournament he's entered. Right.
Do you want to check? Is it on now? So my assistant isn't ready.
I've just had a beat.
You were never.
Oh shit, we've just been slagging everyone off, by the way.
Shall I put?
Second, ready? No, I copy.
Unfortunately, we wanted John Schoons to score. We're doing that with John Schoons.
Nobody cares about your thoughts.
It's live, so
That's a good sign.
Yeah,
Hopefully. Right. We're here for the Oxfordshire Open final. That's a good sign. Oxfordshire Open final 2026 between the mighty in form Alan Donovan of Buckinghamshire, and he will play against Matthew Knight of Sussex. Looks like Chris Cox is listening in, which is a good sign. Seems to be noise coming out of his phone, quite loud. Your scorer is Mr. John Slee, of course, scorer for the Sussex Open final that we live streamed as well, very excitingly. Toss must have been won by Alan Donovan, as Matthew Knight is up at the table, and we're underway in the 2026 Oxfordshire Open final. What a wonderful sight. We're in the back room at the Didcot Great Western Railway Staff Association Club, right next to the station. Perfect venue for anybody who is travelling either by public transport or by car. It's not massively easy to park, but you can park relatively simply around here, which is nice. And Matthew is underway. These two players actually managed to play all 8 tables once each, so Alan does have the minor advantage of having played this table in his first match of the day, but the thing to note, so the white goes right, and it doesn't quite go on the 20. Alan did play this table, but it has been re-levelled by Mr. Jones of the M mat variety, and that's nice for Matthew. Nice little settler. That ball flicked up into the 100, which is what we'd like to see. This is Matthew's second Open final. Made the Kent Open final in 2024, I believe it was, losing to Paul Sainsbury in quite a scrappy affair. And this is his furthest run of 2026. He doesn't, off the top of my head, I can't remember him getting past the quarter final anyway. Not necessarily played poorly, but just hasn't quite happened for Matthew. As he fixed the split there, can he get it around the peg? He can. Second of 2020, it's 120, but not the other. So another recovery shot required here. And it was played quite nicely, but didn't quite catch the 10. So Matthew going to go down the table again. It looked like he was just drifting right, and he's left it awkwardly behind the 20. Key thing that he gets a recovery, he gets a little kiss, keeps his break, but he is off the break of 1.4k to start for Matthew Knight. So Alan Donovan comes to the table. Alan really is the man of the moment. At the moment, he has won 2 finals this year. He won the last tournament to occur, that being the triangles version, alternate rules, bar billiards, beating, I believe it was Kurt Driver in the final. Wasn't actually able to be there for the final, sadly. But yes, Alan definitely won that. And before that, in a match on the Red Hill Sports live stream, he won the Guernsey Open, of course, against Jim Millwood, and was fantastic in the final. And Alan's been in great form again today, I think it's fair to say. He's looked the best of the bunch, really. He's looked super comfortable. Kind of big matches were quarter-final against Joe Oakley. Joe going off with 10k. Alan replied with about 3 or so, and then went off with a excellent 13 in his break leg to secure that tie. And then in the semi-final, he played compatriot Matthew Jones. I believe it was a pretty even first leg. It looked like there were quite a lot of balls on the table. But Alan then went away with, I think it was about 9 and touch, to go past his Bucks teammate once again. He of course beat Matthew in the quarterfinals of the Guernsey Open on his way to winning. And he's in a it's a 4th major Open final, 5th Open including the Triangles, which is kind of considered a minor event, so to speak, but nevertheless a great one to win. He has a brilliant record in finals. He was a runner-up in the off-the-spot final way back in, I think it was 2013, that sort of time. But then recently he has had a victory in Surrey, 2022, I believe, over Dave Ingram in the final there. That, of course, being our home Open as Red Hill supporters, and Red Hill League page this is, of course. And then, of course, he won the Guernsey Open as well earlier this year. So, really has been the foreman as Chris Cox needs to turn his volume down. Is that burst out loud? And Alan here got a tricky shot, white ball in between the 30 and 20, off one cushion, tries to flick it, plays it really nicely, white ball in the 30, and the red ball has flown up, and it's in a lovely little position in front of the 50. A little look from Alan to Matthew Knight to sort of say sorry that that's landed quite so nicely. It could have easily gone through the peg, didn't know where it was going. And this maybe is the chance to recover. Can he get the 20-20? No. Red goes, but white is up. Crucial moments here, particularly for Matthew Knight. If Alan gets the balls back here and make it even just 4 or 5k, get himself settled, get himself ready for the second leg, this could be a huge moment in the game. A little flick. Does the red go towards the 100? It's not far off, but it holds, and Matthew Knight breathes a sigh of relief. He looks to just flick the red in, I'm sure. He just tries to make sure the ball is perfectly spotted on the edge of the D. So we feel the rumble of a train going past, and that might be what actually just is moving the white. There was genuinely a little rumble of a train there, and almost a 3-baller. And he's left it in pretty much the worst position on the table. This is horrible, especially if you have to play with a little check side to get around the black peg. That then, yeah, your key boy's then struggling to get in the 20, and he's hit the black. He's hit the black. That was a problem. That was a problem to get that natural angle for the 20-20. The black peg is right there. You have to play it so delicately. And we're back to 0 for Matthew. And Alan is on 670. And these. Huge moment there. And Alan has got the perfect opportunity to put Matthew Knight under serious pressure. Even just a break of 7 or 8k would be huge here. But of course, this is possibly the most crucial time of the break. The 1-up, and then split. He leaves it beautifully for the 100 split. And it's dodgy, and the peg shakes. It whipple wobbles. How it didn't go over, I don't know. It doesn't matter too much, as it's only 500 points that Alan amassed, but I think maybe that just went a shade right. Alan appears to have a little chat with James Whistle about what happened there. Wasn't quite what he expected, but Matthew is off, and so it's a lead of around 1,000 for the mighty Alan Donovan. So despite it kind of looking like it was going to be a free-flowing final between 2 England players, it's all gone a bit scrappy, all gone a bit nervy. Matthew Knight looking for his first ever Open title. Alan looking for his third major open, fourth title in total. He's also, of course, got the All England individuals back in. It was quite early days. I'm not sure if he'd appreciate me saying this, but I believe it was 79. It might have been 89, which Alan won the All England singles, which is quite remarkable that he's such a high level. He also did the amazing double of over 50s and over 60s last season, I believe. He's been a man in absolutely tremendous form. Aged like a fine wine, the beautiful man of Alan Donovan. As it's all gone a little bit scrappy again. But Alan won't mind that. He's got the lead, about 1,000 lead, remember. Matt has black pegs in what is his break game. And it's all looking a little bit nervous. We've of course talked about Alan's run to the final. We've not talked about Matt's. So Matt has had an interesting route. I'm trying to remember who he's actually played. He had a quarter-final against Scott Gillam, which he was about 3k up after the opening leg with Scott's break to come, but kind of eased through in the end. And then there was a potential all Sussex match with Coxey, but Coxey went out. My phone was going a bit weird there. And the peg. It's a peg from Donovan. So yeah, Coxey went out to Alan Oliver on this very table, table 7. And then Matthew Knight played him on table 1, which, I mean, if we're honest, was an absolute horror show, that table. But there we are. If you have any comments on the game, any questions, do let us know. It's very quiet in this room. It's as I said at the start of the stream, this is the back room at the GWRSA, as Matthew Knight gestures towards me, almost saying, "Why the hell are you live streaming this, Michael?" Which is fair enough. Because it's been a slightly scrappy affair, but yes, it's going to be difficult to interview people during the game because of that. You've got, it's such a quiet room really, the tick of the timer is so clear. I'm stood about as far back as I can against the snooker table, which to be honest I'd be quite happy to play with, given my performance in the Open so far. Alan once again retrieves the balls. He is almost 2,000 up, I think. He's on... Oh no, he's not. He's only one... He's not even 1,000 up. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know if... I don't know at all what's happened there, but there we go. Anyway. Alan has got the split ready again. The white looks good. Red is good. That is a troubling sign for the pride of Sussex. Brighton's mighty competition league secretary, Matthew Knight. Stands tall, cue in front of him, grasped in both hands, and a slight grimace across his face as Alan gets to work looking for a 3rd title of the year. The man in form. It's going to be possibly one of the top seeds for the Grand Prix, the way he's been playing. He's been going deep in plenty of competitions. Of course, that Guernsey Open win carries the maximum 15 Grand Prix points. Going to get a whole bunch, at least 10 today. And there's a little bit of whip there, but he won't really mind. He just needs to settle in, make a score, Let's see where that leaves him with this break game to come. Really is incredibly quiet. And here we've got Mark James watching. It's lovely. It says we've got 7 viewers in total. One of them is probably me, because I've got it open so that I can view any comments, of which there are none in this quiet little part of Tidcot. Just as I say that, some drunken shouts from the bar, possibly slightly overexcited from England's victory last night. No spoiler warning here. This is billiards. And a lovely recovery there from Alan to get the 50-20. It's interesting actually, we've got three kind of participants in this final. All 3 have resplendent white shirts. All 3 have grey shorts. And we have a mixture of trainer types. Well, we've got black trainers for the scorer. We've got sort of whitey grey trainers for Alan, which is always a bit of a risk if there's any dirt around. And Matthew Knight is in grey sandals. Grey sandals, can you believe it? As Alan is, oh, look where he's left it. I think it's just poking out to the right. Oh, maybe it's not. He's pretty central actually. Just come round my commentary point. He's central. It's a lovely shot, and it's just out of 100. I don't think he would have. Don't think it would have been just there if he'd whipped that out and hit the peg. But he has left one. It's still very awkward. It might just be poking its head out for Matthew. It is. He's flicked it. He's got the 230s. Beautiful shot there from Matthew Knight, as Nigel Senior is kind of watching in duo. He's both on the front row, got a prime view of the rear of Matthew there. It's almost obstructed from the billiards. And that might well be why he's got the live stream on as well, but there's a big roar from the heavily Sussex influenced crowd here. We've got the neutral scorer of Surrey's John Slee, but then in the audience we have Whittle, Senior, Walsh, Oakley of the J variety, Cox and Jenner, all supporting their Sussex hero, who's obviously looking for his first Open title after that near miss at Kent just a few years ago. And in the Bucks corner we have both Matthew Jones, the 3-time champion, who was the world champion, former Oxford Open winner, who was defeated by Alan Donovan in the semi-final, and the mighty Chris Slade. We've got Guernsey presence in the live stream. That's excellent. Hello, Claire. I'll do my best to provide commentary. We do usually like to try and get a few interviews during the match, but as I say, it is incredibly quiet in here, and I mean, it's amazing that Oakley hasn't even opened his mouth yet, because it would be right into the ear of the players. So I'm certainly not going to tempt fate and ask him any questions, as the red is just too low on the split. Can Matthew get it? Beautiful shot, well judged. Gets the 50-30. And we've got another Oakley in the chat. He can be a bit louder as he's not here in person, which is excellent. As I believe that's the bar gone. Wow. So Alan Donovan is on 3-9 to Matt's 300. So it's a lead of about 3.5 without this break. As Matthew comes off, leaves something short. I believe that was about 1.7, so the lead for Alan is now 1.7k lead for Alan. As he just tries to finish off the last few balls. John gets a bit confused by what he's put on the scoreboard. I'm pretty sure that's a 9, John. Yeah, he's pushed it back to the start, so Alan ticks on to 4k. As the cue of Matthew Knight comes into shot, just a point to the nearest ball. exciting. Oh, they're not bothering though, but they want a bit more airtime, really, don't they? So noise just increases in the back room here. As he goes for the 20-100, not quite. The 100 points could be crucial if Alan struggles. It's a tense final, this. It's not the free-flowing final that maybe we'd expected with the form Alan was in earlier. Matt Jones, when he was levelling the table, saying, I can't believe anybody will struggle with this. Well, he might not have struggled with it if he'd been in the final. Actually, no, that's... Oh, no, yes, because Alan played on table 7 before, not Matt. Which we're playing on as the Silent Knight sinks the 100. And he brings his deficit down a bit, so it is 4,050 for Alan Donovan. And Matthew is very proud of his 2. He gestures 2 and therefore 1-8 different. 1-8 exactly. 1-7. He's got it wrong. Correction. 1,070. He points angrily into the commentary box that I dare tease. But there we go. 1,700 the difference. That is the lead Alan Donovan holds over Matthew Knight, and it is Alan's break to come. Chris, I don't know. That's a good question. Depends who you're talking about. Are you talking in terms of the Oakley family? Are you talking in terms of players in this final, or other people present at the venue? I don't know. Have to be more specific. Anyway, Alan gets underway and leg 2. His target will probably be 9k. That's probably what he wants to seal a second major title of the season and 3rd in total, with those triangles and Guernsey successes under his belt already in 2026. But a slightly whippy red just shows a bit of nerves, and we've got, I think Greg is slightly lacking in alcohol as he sidles out of the door, and Alan whips the 50. All the Sussex players immediately heads rise like meerkats which have just been suddenly alerted to the potential predators on the loose in the Sahara. The Sussex heads are reared, and then they slowly collapse back to their normal position as the predator eases by. I don't really know what preys on meerkats. I was going to talk about lions, but I don't know, lions probably aren't particularly interested in meerkats, are they? Anyway, we've got support for Mr. Knight and an alternative nickname for the Pride of Sussex there from Chris Oakley. He's doing very well, Chris. He's in the final, but he is behind. This break plus 1,700 from the previous as the white doesn't quite catch, and Alan is quickly down on his shot. You're hoping that's because of flow, but it just felt rushed, and the red just creeps in. Big moments again. White awkwardly on the right hand side cushion. Can he push both balls into play? Can. Double kiss is not delightful. It is not the DDK. It's terror. Can Matt move them? He can. He gets the triple kiss as the white just about sinks into the 20. That could have gone all wrong. Can he now recover the balls and find a way back into this final? He's got to fight. It was an opening break of 1,300 from Alan Donovan, so he leads by 3,000 over the Pride of Sussex, and he gets the balls back. Unbelievable. It is time for Silent Knight to roar, to come out of the cage that he so often sits in, and maybe become an Open winner for the first time. He, of course, has taken Plenty of Sussex titles. Very proud of his record in the Sussex off the spot. Plenty more wins than his good friend Nigel Senior in that competition. But the Opens are different, and they're white. Oh, it thought about it, didn't it? It thought about it, but it goes. And can Matthew now recover? The side doesn't take. The red is going towards the 30 though, and drops. The tension is palpable. Alan almost looks nervous, and this looks good for the 2020. Oh, well, that is harsh. That is harsh. 20 was not happy with Matthew there, and he gets the 10, but he's still fighting at the back. Again, the heads of the Sussex contingent peek up, peer around the figure of Knight as Mr. Slee just cleans a bit off the table. And Matthew is back on the break, and that is the 1,000 mark up. He needs 2k to catch. Good support from Bob Hall, who sadly couldn't make it today. He remains in Brighton after much train trouble. I don't know if it's any solace to the self-tipper, but trains seem to be a problem in both directions. My dad made it along today from the opposite direction, the kind of Bristol way, and the trains were dodgy that way as well. A lot of trains incredibly full. They weren't even allowing some passengers on going from Paddington to Bristol because the trains were so busy, so I'm not surprised there were problems. But more importantly, Matthew Knight with one of the most important breaks of his life so far. A second Open final for Silent, aptly in the quietest room you possibly ever find for an Open final, sheltered away from the main atmosphere. And you can see the heads of the box supporters are slightly bowed, waiting and hoping for their hero to come back to the table. But the Sussex fans are just chatting, looking excited, looking nervous, but knowing their man is at the table, and he's past the 2k mark, which means he is within 1,000 of Alan Donovan. Alan, two-time Major Open winner, also the winner of the alternate rules, the triangles. That's a little hiss from that as he thinks the red goes long, but it might still 100 split. The flick of the head, the white goes, but the red is fat. Alan puts down his beer, anticipating a potential chance. It goes past the white peg, spits out the 10, but the red is accepted. Looks for a 30-20. White coming back towards the peg, but stops on these downhill tables. They struggle to come back too quickly. Can he recover the ball? White flicks out the 30 into the 20. Red is in the 20 as well. The balls are back. He is not far off parity. You can feel the tension in the room as the red spins on the break. And that is the 3,000 mark. Matthew Knight officially, without the weakest link banking, takes the lead. In his second Open final, Matthew Knight has edged in front with this break. An agonising loss to Paul Sainsbury in the Kent Open 2023, I believe. Could be corrected on the year. But the 100 split goes. The 100 split goes. Oh, and we've got a call of shot stew in the chat. Quite aptly, all Sussex players like a shot stew. I guess it's nice in this Red Hill live stream that we've got a Red Hill player, Merston Village Club B's second finest substitute, or driver for Nigel Senior, as he's also known. when most of them have important matches to play, like against Salford's Y or President's Cup finals. It's apt that we have got a Red Hill related player in the final. Will the red go? Will the red go? It will not. Should be able to go over it as Joe Oakley storms into the room. The loud voice just at the wrong time, but the flick of the 30, just how it works. Matthew will want everybody behind him to be nice and quiet now. Silent, just like the name. As the red continues to wobble, Alan Donovan looks nervously at the watch. As Matthew is past the 4K mark now, he is over 1,000 ahead. As I say, this would be a first ever Open title for Matthew. The red continues to wobble, but it doesn't matter now. It does not matter, he just has to keep plodding away, keep going, stay on the break. Do not let Alan Donovan to the table, and Matthew Knight will be an Open champion, and the split is thick. A cry of not again, and an exclamation of Christ the Redeemer. And it's a well-controlled kiss there from Matt. Gets the red off the side cushion. White is nicely in the open for the 50 potting. Can he now potentially 50-30? That might be the shot. We'll see what he plays. He is 50-30. White goes inside. Will the red reach the 30? It does. Just. Does he risk the 100? Always possibility of whipping here. But it's good. It's very good. The white goes in the 30. Centre of the 30. Centre of the 100. Matthew Knight continues. In this, the final leg of the final. Matthew Knight was 3,000 behind after Alan Donovan's opening break in this second leg. But Matt is now over 5,000 this break. He leads by 2k without the bank. He must bank at some stage, but not quite yet. There is still time for Alan Donovan in this final as the white whips out. Like a Sunday evening at Merstham, the table plays its tricks. Well-controlled red, but the white does not play ball for Matthew Knight. Whispers go round, and it's thick. A smirk for Matthew Knight. Break of 5,800 and a bit. So he is 2.8 up. Alan Donovan looking for 3k to take the title. He needs 3,000 to get back in the game to claim his third title of 2026. Four-man Alan Donovan is in trouble. The pride of Sussex leads. The excitement from the Sussex contingent is palpable as the noise just increases inside the arena. Alan needs to concentrate. A wonderful little shot there, focusing on each ball, not trying to move them around. Taking one as it comes off the cushion. Will he flick it? He does. And a beautiful, beautiful shot from Alan Donovan. Retrieves the balls. The game is still live. How much time is there left? I don't know. I do not know. But I would say at most 5 minutes. So at most 5 minutes. It was a pretty slow 5, almost 6k from Matthew. Alan opened up with 1.3k. So there's got to be at least 12 minutes gone. Pretty sure it's about an 18-minute bar. Alan has time, but he can't afford too many excursions. And he'll really want a nice set love. Want to get the 100 split. It's close, but it takes. It takes. And Alan moves past the 1k mark. He's reduced the deficit to 1.8k as the red goes cleaner than Matthew Knight's break. He's been led in. He looks like he's putting quite a lot of left-hand side on the break. As I look from behind us, just as the box man is going, Matthew Knight disappears from the arena. He must be thirsty. Must need a large gulp of lager as the one-up sits nicely for Alan. Calm, composed, 100 split goes. 1,710 is the break, less than 1,500 behind now. Alan is on the charge. Can he wrestle back the lead from his England teammate in this exciting second leg? The break goes beyond 2,000 as Alan continues to slowly plod away. This one up and split would give him the opportunity to go. Oh my goodness, the miscue. The white goes. A look of desperation from Matthew Knight. An exclamation from Alan Donovan. Just when the match is getting close, there's a matter of a few hundred points. The red is in the heart of the 100. The white misses. The white misses. Can Alan get it back? The white is in the 30. Double kiss the red on a different top. That might have gone right through the white peg, but these downhill tops help as the red goes. Can he perform one more excellent shot off the side cushion? Can't afford to lose the break either. White goes in the 20. He's nigh on level now. The game is so tight. An excellent shot. Whoa. Under the pressure. A beautiful pace that gets the balls off the cushion into the 30 and 20. An absolutely wonderful pressure shot from Alan Donovan. Unbelievable composure. So easy just to whack them with a bit of nerves, and the break goes past 3,000. He has a slender advantage over Matthew Knight. He is looking for a third major Open title to add to his Surrey Open title in 2022, but the split is thick, and that Guernsey Open title earlier in the year. That's not in the 10. The red's missed. And the white sneaks in the 20. Not 100% sure whether that was what he was going for. It doesn't matter. Red is horribly lodged in the corner. Can he get it out? He can, but nothing is in. And Matthew Knight returns to the table a couple of hundred down. I can't work out exactly how much it is. There's too much going on at the moment, but he is a couple of hundred down as the balls congregate in the corner closest to the camera. Is the belching of an Oakley J appears at the wrong time. The white ball goes across the table, but the downhill nature means it sticks to that far cushion. And again, a nice shot from Matt to get the white out the corner, but the downhill nature means that they're really going to stick along that top cushion. If you're playing them across, you've got to hit the balls, kind of half, three-quarter ball, really get them moving. Another excellent shot, an excellent 20-30, similar to Alan's one, which might have won in the match. And a double kiss. Not ideal. Nigh on level. Nigh on level. There's a roar of appreciation. Goes up. Difference in this leg as another glass is knocked over. The difference in this leg is 1.9. Difference in the leg is 1.9. Jesus Christ, there's going to be a bit of addition here. Bit of addition. We're going to go nice and slow. So Alan is on 4,910. Matt is on 5-8, so his lead is 900, so he needs 800, I think. He is 700 behind. Bar has gone. Matthew is 700 behind. That's a great shot from Matthew. That's a great shot from Matthew. Can he now control this on the 50s? Leave that red for a 200 shot at the end. Oh. Well, I think he was attempting 100, and the handshake comes. And the handshake comes. Alan Donovan is the champion. Wow. That was so close. There's almost like a balloon has burst in here. The thought of a potential last ball game. And it's over. It's done. I think Matthew is incredibly disappointed. Possibly a little bit rushed, that last shot. I don't know. I don't know how he's feeling. He's probably gutted, isn't he? Because he was almost there. He was almost there. The pride of Sussex. He will get there. He will get over the line one day. But today is the day for the great Alan Donovan, a third title of 2026. What an unbelievable season the Bucksman is having. Aging like a fine wine. I don't know what his favourite is. Maybe it's a Merlot. Maybe he's a Malbec. Who knows? He is the champion of the Oxford Open 2026. A brilliantly tense final there between the two players. The room is still almost in disbelief at those final moments there. I think we all felt it was tight. We all felt that could be a super tight finish, but that wasn't quite to be. I hope you've enjoyed everything that has gone on. I'm sure we'll have a little word with some of the players, scorers. Hopefully we'll get a word at some point. But yeah, what a finale, eh? What a finale. Maybe we can talk to the old. Was Martin Smith in the plate final?
Yes.
Do you want to talk?
One this year?
Your third one this year. Do you want to talk us through what happened? Not really. Did you come? Were you the silver medal winner?
I was the silver medal winner.
You were the
yes,
silver medal of the
yes.
silver competition.
Yes, Mark Trafford. I won the toss, put Mark in. He made a mistake. Underestimated the break on his very first shot, but I was unable to capitalise. He had 3 goes at the break, and eventually, on his third visit, he got going and made a 10 or 11,000 break. I made a little at the end, but was still facing sort of about 10 or 11, and I only went off with 2.5.
Not quite enough.
Not quite enough. Mark gave me another chance, but it was a very pace heavy break that you just need to roll the balls, nothing more than that.
Yep.
And I won the leg in the end, but yeah,
the game was gone.
The game was gone. Yeah.
Well, it's still a fine season for you so far. Sussex Open of Champ, of course, on the Red Hill live stream that we like. We like a good Red Hill live stream winner, which is wonderful. We might try and get a work. Maybe Martin Smith will go and try and find someone for me to talk to. Maybe we'll try and find the winner. I don't know if the runner-up will want to speak. He seemed slightly disappointed, which is understandable. I don't want to go too far from the computer in case my microphone doesn't reach. But I'll try and wave at someone. See if we can get some interviews. I don't want to be too intrusive. don't want to stick things in people's faces. But I'm sure we'll get there. Alan is smiling delightfully. Matthew is understandably deflated. In what was an exciting final. I tell you what, Nigel Senior is wandering slowly over. We might get a word from the representative. It sounds like we've got
the Matt Knight camp.
Matt Knight camp. What were you
supporting
thinking?
Gutted really for him to second Open final. I know he wants to get there, and very close finals that he's been in, and just a couple of shots here or there. He's thinking he might not get there, but I'm sure he will. You just got to keep plugging away, haven't you? These things.
He'll definitely get there. I've no doubt of that.
If you win Sussex singles and Brighton titles, you can win one of these, and you get to finals of these, you can win one. So tricky table, but he really got in there and whipped White, which never happened during the whole game, which is just annoying, isn't it? But it's one of those things, but I'm sure he'll get there.
Yeah, he fought really, really hard. He was in a position which looked intimidating at 1700 down after the first. Alan goes off, only makes 1300, and he just battled so hard for that 5k, and it just felt unfortunate that it came off. And then Alan came off once he was level. Basically, it was nip and tuck.
And that's the thing with Alan. He's on that bit of a roll, isn't he? Where you just tend to get over the line when you're winning things, don't you? And he's done that today. So fair play to him. He's top player these days, so he's hard man to beat. Yeah, I feel for Matt. Obviously, he's a teammate of mine, so and obviously desperate to get one of these titles, and I'm sure he'll get there. So
he will get there. He will definitely get there. That is the Sussex campers.
That's the Sussex campers viewpoint today. So
as Nigel appears to have an ice cream rather than a beer in his hand, that
day.
really is worthy of it. If that is Mr. Whippy plus, isn't it? Really.
I mean, you can speak to Joe or Greg. You won't get much sense out of them now.
I'm fearful for the potential content that would produce on the live stream, whether we'd be struck from the internet. To be perfectly honest, we'll see if we can find Mr. I might have to send you on a mission to send Mr. Donovan towards me, because I'm worried that the Bluetooth won't reach through this rather thick wall. He does appear to be having a nice conversation with Pauline Withy, yeah, Nigel's. I think Nigel's gonna go and see if Alan wants to have a few words. I might even be able to move the laptop so that we can see Alan. That might be nice, mightn't it? We'll have a little interview with our champion. Oh, we do have Matthew. Do you want a word, Matthew?
Well, obviously I'm very disappointed, Mike. Very disappointed, but there we go.
Well, that's a good view, isn't it?
No one wants to see me, really.
Oh, you did tremendously well, fought back well, and you're unlucky, weren't you, with the 50 split?
Yeah, 50 whip, yeah. That's my nemesis.
There he is.
To be fair, he normally has about 9 breaks to beat me. Today only had about 4, so he's getting better, obviously.
He's improving.
The queue has been found.
Oh, that is good news.
Joe Oakley's queue has been found.
Oh dear.
I'm proud of it. Bloody hell, you're sweaty.
It is a bit warm. It is very, very, very warm.
Quirky top.
Yes, it looked like it had a little bit of a drift.
Yes, it was a quirky top.
I liked it.
I think we both hit the split thick a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was tough. It was nervy. A bit nervy.
Yeah.
Bit nervy.
Well, yeah, because you couldn't settle.
No, a bit nervy. The two contestants are here together.
They're also in frame.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
Kind of worked it.
I
I did note that we had 2 players in white and grey shorts. We had a scorer in white and grey shorts, but then an assortment of shoes from the sandals to the trainers.
The commentator, he was in white, not brown. I don't think you call those brown. White.
Well, they're
and
kind
blue.
of sort of stripy white grey
The score did
shorts.
well because it was a bit of a. The score is quite important when it's a close game.
Stripes make you look thinner.
Hasn't really worked.
I was going to say the evidence here is I'm not sure it's helping such arguments.
I'm now 0-2
yes.
though in Open finals.
You are, but you will get the one at some point.
Well, let's hope so. A very gracious Victor.
Well,
Gracious Victor.
the three-time champion this year, 2 major titles, Guernsey Open, Oxford Open, and also the Triangles. Only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I showed Kurt in that.
Quite rightly so. We've got to put the England captain in his place, don't we?
What do you get sent off for in the World Cup now? Is it having your hand over your mouth?
There we go. But Matthew's getting wherever we can give him a red ball, can't we? We'll give you the Matthew Knight red ball for you for covering your face.
To listen to it back, actually, I won't bother. I only listen to them when I've won, or I'm commentating.
You can listen to it as a podcast and pretend that it's another Matt playing or something.
Okay.
I thought the Guernsey one you did was fantastic.
It was.
Well, time will tell whether this one was any good. It was quite difficult with it being so quiet.
Yes.
It was.
Very dark as well.
It is very dark.
Very dark. That's my excuse. Even there's a very good light on the table.
It's a good excuse. Well, we have a 3-time champion with us in 2026. 3-time Open winner. Overall, your record in finals is almost impeccable. Off the spot, you lost. Well, no, Open finals, you've lost one final off the spot. I think it was about 2012-ish when I was looking at the records. But other than that, Surrey Open champion, Guernsey Open champion, Triangle, smashed it, Oxford Open champion. How does it feel to win 3 events now in 2026?
I'm playing okay, but I've had the luck. If I'm honest, I've had shots where I could easily have missed, and I've managed to keep going. And you do have to recognise that you need luck, you need the good fortune. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you play the right shot and you miss, and sometimes you play the wrong shot and everything goes down.
Yeah.
I'm forever turning around going, I'm really sorry about that. Really.
You can say that you get that bit of luck, but also you've been fantastic today. Joe Oakley went off with 10, wasn't it, in the quarter-final, and you were faultless in reply. It was about 3 and then 13, I think, and then Matt Jones, you opened up in that second leg with 8 or 9, I think, to finish that off.
You missed a couple of times early, and then I managed to get 8 or 9,000, which I can count on one hand how many times I've ever beaten Matt Jones.
Well, Guernsey Open, quarter-final, today, semis.
I've only got 3 fingers.
So you're struggling for any more, basically. That's what we say.
I beat Kurt in the Triangles. That's the first time I've ever beaten Kurt.
It's a good time to win.
Yes. he appreciated it. No, he never.
Yeah, but you've been fantastic, and then at the end there it got so tight. What were you thinking there? Because you just got ahead, but Matthew was still in with a shout.
Yeah, I knew that last score I got. I knew I was 1,700 up. I knew he was, after my score, that put me 1,000 down on the leg.
Yeah.
Which I knew put me 700 up. But when the red's still there, you can't.
Yeah, there's always a risk.
Of course there is. There's 400 there instantly.
Yeah.
But he knew when he missed. He knew my next shot was.
Yeah, you're getting rid of the red, aren't you? That's why he shook the hand, and you rather deflated the Sussex bubble in here. There was no kind of loud reaction of screams. It was.
They support him, but I get on fantastic with Matt. We have such a laugh, especially in Guernsey.
Yeah.
And we're still laughing about Guernsey.
Quite
Every time
rightly
he
so.
hears me laugh, he goes, he's played another one of those lucky shots.
Well, we've got people trying to interrupt our live stream here. It's unbelievable. We've got Vinny and John want to disappear basically. So maybe we'll wrap it up. What are your final words then, Alan? You've won 3.
Yes.
Are you going to win another one? Are you going to win the Worlds?
Ironically, I play really well in Jersey, but I always come up against Trevor Gallion.
That's always a problem.